Thanks for calling me, man. This is going to sound so weird because, like, of course, I used to watch wrestling, so I was a fan of you as a wrestler, but what always intrigued me was the shirts you wore, like the Inhumans and Morpheus and stuff like that. When you were in WCW the second time and you had, like, the breakdown and they filmed all the vignettes with, like, Chastity and Sandman and everything, where was that supposed to go? I remember the last one that was, like, in order, you found the picture of Roddy Piper.
I was trying to make it turn into a feud with Piper because me and Piper had come up with an idea for a feud, but Nash was mad at Piper and he was the booker at the time, so he wasn't going to reward him, and that's why I got fucked over because of it.
I did like the little, 5-minute thing where it turned out you just acted depressed because you had money. That was kind of funny, but, you know.
Yeah, I wasn't a big fan of that, but I was like, whatever, you know, it's cool.
It worked it was a nice ending, I guess. I don't know. I
forget how long that was before I left the company.
It was. I think you left shortly after that.
Yeah, I think so too.
Because I kind of got disgusted when you left ECW the first time, and and Dreamer beat you. To me, that was like the death of the company because I was like, okay, they could have been so different.
Dreamer didn't want to beat me, neither did I. We wanted because we knew I'd be back someday.
And then that could have haunted him like his whole life, even if for some reason you didn't come back. You know, he never could beat him.
Yeah, but Paulie, I understand Paulie's point of view, though.
Yeah, I mean, somebody's leaving, you got to put the other guy over. For me, that was kind of like, I don't like this now.
Yeah.
That was my wrestling question for you. Although I bet you'll never guess what my favorite promo you ever cut was.
Which one?
It was some throwaway one in WWE. And you said, I don't remember who you were fighting, but you were like, you're the yin to my yang, Superman to Lex Luthor, my Arnold Jackson to the Gooch. And I popped big because I used to, I grew up on television. So, like, that was just an awesome line for me. So that's, like, my favorite wrestling promo ever.
Right. Cool.
When I was always fascinated. I told you earlier, like, when you would wear, like, all the comic book shirts and all that.
Sure.
Was there ever, like, a concern that they would break, like, copyright or anything like that?
No, I don't think so. I mean, I don't think anybody cared back then. Marvel didn't care. It was just advertising for them, Marvel and DC. So, and I was friends with Joe Quesada, who was the editor-in-chief of Marvel, so he didn't care.
Didn't he also do the run of X-O Manowar for Valiant Comics? It seemed like his name was on some of the issues in the beginning.
Probably. What year are we talking?
Oh, when Valiant was hot, 92, 93?
When they were owned by Acclaim?
I don't remember if that was... No, I think that was before. It was before they first went bankrupt, when they had the gimmick where you could get the coupon in the comic to get the Harbinger Zero and all that stuff.
I wasn't reading comics. I stopped reading comics when I was like 12. Started again when I was when did I start? In 95. So I was like 95, 96, I guess. Because so that'd be 31 years. So I was 31 years old. Probably 30, 31 when I started reading comics again. But I only started reading the trade paperbacks. Like, I just started reading The Sandman because somebody recommended it, said it was really, very literate. And I read that, and I was like, wow. And then I read The Watchmen. I don't know what order I read these in, but, I started reading all the trades. And I didn't start buying current issues until probably the 2000s, early 2000s. And then I bought so many, I got like 30,000 comics in storage. It's ridiculous. And then I stopped reading them in like 2010 because I had no time to read books. I had no time to watch TV, and there was such great TV and books out, and I stopped reading comics like 2010 because they changed the universes so much. It really got screwy. When they tried to redo the whole multiverse, it just was really bad writing, and that whole 52, I think, or New 52, or whatever the fuck it was.
Yeah.
Was the shits. And I was like, you know what? I'm spending so much money. I'm spending like $40-50 a week on comics, and I have no time to read books and no time to watch TV. And man, there was great TV in the 2000s.
Yes, there was.
Yeah, even now there's still great TV, although it's kind of waned a bit for the last 3 years, but there's all kinds of great stuff. So I was like, so the only way to quit reading comics is cold turkey.
Pretty much.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I'm I'm a completist, so I have to read everything. So it's really aggravating.
Well, DC started their stuff new again, so now I'm the opposite. I don't buy the singles now. A few years ago, I went to the trades just because, I mean, like you said, it's expensive, and none of these new books, they're so mass produced. It's not like you're going to have a comic on your hands that's going to put your kid in college or anything.
And not only that, but the worst part is the trades aren't any less expensive than buying the individual issues, though.
No, they're cheaper.
No, they're not. Or at least they weren't. They used to be the same price as the issues if you added them up.
Oh.
Well, I mean, maybe now it isn't, but it was when they first started coming out. It was like, or, like in 2000, in the mid-2000s, late 2000s, it was like, it'd be a 6-issue run and it'd be, $18 or whatever, $3 an issue. That's the same price.
I just bought all the old the Teen Titan omnibuses because I watched the Teen Titans show, or just Titans, I guess it's called. So I've been buying all those.
How was that? I didn't watch that.
It's amazing.
Really?
I can't say it's so good. It's shocking how good it is.
How many episodes do they do?
They just finished season 2, so there's like 23 episodes now.
Ooh, then I'll have to watch. I didn't watch it. I get so disappointed when I watch. I started watching Shazam. It was so horrible. Sylvania, he was, his parents' death. Then he gets pulled to the wizard, and the wizard's a total dick. That never happened. And the comics way is so much better, And then I can plot out the rest of the movie, but I'm going to watch the rest of it this weekend. But it's the girl named Mary obviously has to be his sister. Freddie's Freddie Freeman, so it'll be Captain Marvel Jr. and Captain Mrs. Mary Marvel. Yeah,
you'll get to see that toward the end.
Yeah, but I mean, the way they did it was the Shazam was such a dick, It was. And they also picked. I love the actor who played him, except that he was fucking. It was way too young, so it looked, and the beard and the hair all looked fake,
Yeah.
The original story is so much better. Plus, if I remember correctly, Captain Marvel's not a fucking schmuck,
No, he wasn't.
He's like, he's more. He's not the kid. He is the kid, but he's also an adult, isn't it? I mean, it's been so long now since I read it, but I don't remember him being a complete idiot like the kid was.
No, he was just like a regular, standard Superman type character.
Right, but he wasn't. But it wasn't so much the kid's brain in there. I mean, was it?
In the comic, I never got that. It was almost like he became someone else.
Right, exactly, yeah. Which is kind of like, which is weirdly kind of like Captain Marvel in with the Negabands in Dan Marvel.
God, I haven't read a Captain Marvel book forever. I hated the movie.
Oh yeah, that's right. With the female Captain Marvel.
Yeah.
I was thinking you meant with Rick Jones. No. Yeah, no, I hate it. It wasn't great, but I didn't hate it. Usually, when I go to a movie like that, I go, okay, it's an alternative, it's an Elseworld, so I can live with it if it's fucked up. But Shazam, it's so brutal and people apparently loved it. I guess it did really good, didn't it?
Yeah, it made a fortune, but it was a family movie, and it was. I think what it hit for DC was it was colorful and bright, so kids liked it.
But here's what I don't get about it is even if you accept the fact that the plotting's different, it was still bad because Captain Marvel's supposed to be pure of heart. The kid Billy Batson's supposed to be, and he's not pure of heart at all. He stole the fucking bullet.
Yeah, he was using all his powers to try to make money off YouTube and stuff.
Yeah, like what I'm saying. But when he was Billy Batson, he stole the kids' money. And then I haven't got to the end of the movie, but why his mom never looked for him is I'm sure we'll figure out later. But like Sylvania, why would Captain Marvel think he's pure of heart if he wants to get revenge on his parents? And why would he be so mean to him afterwards when he says everybody's gets lured by the 7 deadly sins? So why would he get mad at him for it?
Yeah.
And why would he be such a dick as to leave these memories in the I mean, it's such a dick movie.
Did you go see Birds of Prey?
No, I didn't see. I'm going to wait for the cable.
I loved it.
Yeah, no, I heard it was good.
that was made strictly for comic book fans. Like my wife, who normally likes that stuff, hated it. Like you had to be a comic book reader to get half of the gags in that film.
But I didn't hate Suicide Squad.
I didn't either. I hated the casting. I didn't hate the movie.
Yeah, Will Smith was slumming.
Well, and Floyd, Deadshot, is like a 40-something-year-old thin white man, cast perfectly on Arrow.
What's that?
He was who played him on Arrow. It was cast perfectly for that show.
I watched the first season of Arrow, but that's all I could get into. Like, it just, I don't know. It just, I don't know. There's too many other shows that I was into.
The first 2 years are good.
But I watch I didn't watch the beginning, but now I watch Supergirl because I started watching it because of the crossover.
Yeah.
Supergirl's pretty, it's really good mindless entertainment.
I like that they have the Martian Manhunter and everything in it.
Yeah, that's what I like too. And I like John Cryer as Lex Luthor since he played Lex Luthor's assistant in the movie.
Yeah, part 4. I love the crossover. I thought they did a pretty good job with it.
Yeah, I did too. I mean, it wasn't bad. I liked that they introduced a lot of the rando heroes like DeRay, you know.
Mm-hmm.
But I also watched Legends of. I hate I like the show, but I hate the Rip. They got rid of Rip.
Yeah, that's my favorite one of the bunch, to be honest with you.
Yeah, especially because he was Rory on fucking Doctor Who.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, he had the greatest arc ever when he fucking on Doctor Who when he was a Centurion and he goes I'm gonna to make sure she doesn't come out of the whatever the thing's called. I'm gonna wait here, and he waited for like thousands of years for Amy Pond.
So, which one's your favorite of all the superhero shows? Do you have one?
Probably Legends.
I just like it because it's stupid.
It's getting a little goofy, but I mean, I like it. It's not the same show. It's like two different shows completely. It's like the Rip Hunter adventures and then like the Goofy adventures.
And I like Constantine. You know, I like that they kept the same actor from the canceled Constantine show. I thought that was cool. Yeah,
me too. How was the Swamp Thing? I heard that was terrible.
No, it was actually really good, but like I guess because it introduced the Blue Devil, who's always one of my favorite characters. But I guess like where they filmed, taxes went up and they weren't going to be able to afford to film it down there in that swamp anymore. So they just decided to scrap it altogether. So by the time it started going, there were only a couple episodes left to go and then it just ended.
What else is there?
Flash. I really like Flash.
What's that?
I like the Flash a lot.
I hate the actor that plays the Flash, so I can't watch it.
I hated the guy that played Flash in Justice League because I like the guy on the TV show better.
Justice League. I hated the Flash actor in Justice League. Hate the Flash actor and hate the Flash actors.
Well, if they were to follow the comic, though, the Flash actor should be a guy who's about 38 years old. But, I don't cast it.
Well, at least give him blonde hair if you're going to make him Barry Allen. And they're doing the Wally West storyline with the African American wife, basically.
Yeah.
So they should have just made him a ginger.
What? They got the elongated man in there now. It's awesome.
Yeah. But is he used gin gold?
No, and he got his powers not from drinking that potion. He's just another meta.
Oh.
But at least they make him to be like a super smart detective like he is in some of the books. So I like that they kept that aspect of him.
Yeah, for being such a smart detective, he should have realized that his wife was got raped by Dr. Light.
Yeah. Dr. Light's on the second season of Titans. He's a badass in it too.
Yeah, it's weird how like sometimes that was the whole point, I guess, when they raped it was why he went from such a badass to such a screwball.
Do you ever watch Teen Titans Go?
No.
The Teen Titans Go to the Movies is the greatest comic book movie cartoon ever made.
I thought Spider-Man into the Spider-Verse was.
I like that, but Teen Titans Go has so many good references, like when they're trying to stop the superheroes from being born so they can have their own movie. And they won't let Martha and Thomas take their kid down Crime Alley because it says Crime Alley. So then later when they have to go and reverse it, they actually put the pearls on her and kick her down the aisle and everything like that. I just thought that was so great.
Who are the villains?
Deathstroke, although they couldn't call him Deathstroke, so they just called him Slade.
Yeah, what is I don't even want to get into it. You know what I didn't like, I'm really disappointed in, was the Doom Patrol.
I thought it was funny.
Well, I only watched the first 2 episodes, so maybe that's why, or the first episode.
They're all the same.
The Umbrella Academy was fucking brilliant, though.
I haven't watched that, and everybody tells me to.
It's the best. It's so good. It is unbelievable. That's the best superhero movie.
I don't know. My favorite superhero movie is probably either the first Sin City or I really liked Watchmen. And I actually liked the change they made at the end where it was supposed to be framing Dr. Manhattan instead of the squid.
You know what, though? You know what I hated about the Watchmen movie? If I didn't know the plot, I wouldn't have been able to understand it. It made no sense.
Really?
Like, yeah, watch the movie as if you didn't know what the plot is, and it makes no sense.
I'm the only guy that didn't notice the blue dick, like, through the whole film. Like, I was oblivious to it.
Is that, I don't remember. It's been so long.
Yeah, I watched it again not that long ago, because I like the Deadpool movies. I think those are fun.
Oh, those are great. But for the longest time, the best movie was Blade.
I like Blade a lot. I liked all 3 Blades, to be honest. I love the second one's my favorite.
You know what I always hate, though? You know what was the best, though? Like, the first one sucked, but the second one was great, was Hellboy.
I liked Hellboy. I like the new Hellboy, too, to be honest with you.
Well, the first Hellboy, the guy said, he goes, I'm going to make it exactly like the comic book. It was nothing like the comic book.
Not at all.
Finger. But the second one, because I knew it wasn't going to be like the comic, it was brilliant. The second one was brilliant. But the new Hellboy's okay, but it's not great.
No, I like the guy that plays him, the David Harbour from Stranger Things. He's a likable fellow.
Yeah, but they still haven't really captured Hellboy's sardonic, That's like the first 3 Spider-Mans. They never had Spider-Man wisecracking. That's the whole point is that the guy's a wise ass because all his confidence is as Spider-Man, and so much so that he's a freaking comedian, basically.
I hated the Tobey Maguire Spider-Mans. I really hated the second ones that came out. I like this new kid, though.
Yeah, the new kid's amazing. He's great because he's a total wise ass.
Yeah.
But he's a bumbling idiot as Peter Parker, but as Spider-Man, he's the most confident and Weisenheimer ever.
Yeah. Tobey Maguire.
Right, if this is called Movie Graveyard, this podcast, what other movies are we going to discuss?
Well, I got a question because this is going to lead into the movies here. I also talk about comic books and toys too. But The Clockwork Orange, is that your favorite movie?
No, I never even watched it.
Really?
Yeah, and I was always going to watch it, and I kept getting creeped out. Like when I was a kid, I was too creeped out because I don't know, because I had heard so much about it, and I just never got around to watching it.
Then why was it called the Clockwork Orange House of Fun Match?
Because I stole the quote from Warren Ellis.
Oh, okay.
Warren Ellis and something called it a Clockwork Orange House of Fun. I was like, that is brilliant, so I'm going to have to use that. That's the greatest thing for promos is if you steal material, which in wrestling promos, like most good promo men steal them from song. You don't steal them, you hijack them. You basically, because it's like, if you use the promo in the right way, if people recognize it, they go, oh, that's great. I love the reference. And if they don't, then you just get credit for it. So either way, it works.
I just figured you were, because I'd always heard you reference, like, Dr. Strangelove. I've seen you reference that a lot. So I was like, okay, Dr. Strangelove, Clockwork Orange House of Fun. Raven must be like a really big Stanley Kubrick fan.
Either. Never saw Dr. Strangelove either.
That's a great movie.
Not a Kubrick fan, really. Well, hang on. Hold on one second.
Other guest would be a De Palma fan.
I like De Palma sometimes. Kubrick, I loved Full Metal Jacket. Loved Full Metal Jacket. But most of his movies, like, I don't know, they're overrated. Like, I've never seen most of them, just because, I don't know. Just not in the right mood or the right place.
I hate The Shining. I have no shame in admitting that.
Not a horror movie fan. That's probably why.
Yet you were in Sleeper.
Well, yeah, but movies, you just take the roles because they offer them. I love when they go, why'd you take the movie? It's because they offered it to them.
I liked them. I liked Sleeper, actually. I thought it was really good.
Yeah, it was all right. I mean, there was a lot of stuff that made no sense that I had to go, director, this makes no sense. You got to have a plot, something to explain this. But I think I didn't watch it back, but I think it ended up all making perfect sense. But there was a bunch of stuff that I was like, as I was reading the script, I was like, this can't happen. This has to happen. This has to be explained. We need some exposition to explain point A to point B.
No, I thought it was cool. I am a horror fan. I liked it. I won't lie to you. I was not too sold on the Insane Clown Posse one you did.
Yeah, I didn't see that either.
Yeah.
I don't like my movies because I hate watching myself.
You know, I watched Vampiro's movie. Well, I watched half of it, and then I turned it off. And I asked him a question about it, and he even said that. He never went back and watched it.
Yeah, a lot of people don't watch their own movies.
I don't recommend Vampiro's movie. Even though it's got Kreese from The Karate Kid in it, I don't recommend it.
I don't even know what it is.
It's called The Dead Sleep Easy. He's like a former wrestler who kills someone in the ring, even though he's wearing a gi, and it's in like a martial arts mat. He's a pro wrestler, I guess. And then he has to run money and drugs for the mob.
I don't care enough.
No, it's no El Santo movie.
Never saw him.
Really?
Not a wrestling fan, movie fan.
Oh, I think they're worth watching. I think they're fun. They're you watch. There might be 60 of them, but if you watch one and you like it, you like all 60. You dislike one, you'll hate them all. They're all the same.
Yeah, I don't like. I would have loved them as a kid. I would have loved them, but as an adult, I don't enjoy movies that are bad, so that they're entertainingly bad. Like, I'd rather not waste my time watching something when I can watch something good.
Worst movie I ever seen was Veronica, Glenn Danzig's new movie. Because I love the comic book. That was the worst movie I've ever seen in my life.
Really?
It's porn without sex.
That's weird.
Terrible. And it made me want to burn all my Misfit records.
You really do live in a movie graveyard. No, you live in a movie graveyard. All your movies are terrible.
They are, but sometimes I like terrible ones. Like my favorite movie of all time is Casino.
But I'm so mobbed out. Like if I never see another mob movie, it's too soon.
Yeah, I couldn't finish The Irishman. I don't know about you. I couldn't finish it. It was too long.
Didn't even bother. Didn't even watch The Sopranos. I was so mobbed out by that point.
Like I said, I was a fan. I always thought it was so cool that you wore like all these comic shirts. You incorporated, then I'd watch, I wasn't a shoot interview guy, but if I watched like documentaries, you'd always talk about like Scorsese and De Niro. You just seem like a super cool dude. And I actually ripped your look off because I had the ripped up shorts and the combat boots and the Raven t-shirt.
The movie I want to put over that nobody ever puts over is The Chronicles of Riddick.
I like The Chronicles of Riddick.
I loved it. It was awesome.
I like the third one too.
Third one was okay, but the second one was the main one was the best. Way better than Pitch Black was so overrated.
Yeah, that was a slasher movie in space.
Yeah, it was so overrated. But Chronicles of Riddick, man, that was awesome.
And it was like setting up the hole with the Furies and everything like that.
Mm-hmm.
I liked it.
Yeah, I wish are they going to do another one?
I doubt it.
Well, the last one made money, I'm sure.
The last one I think did because it didn't cost much. It didn't cost hardly anything to make.
Yeah, they got to be coming out. What about Underworld? Are they making a sixth one?
I don't know. My wife's a huge fan of those. I couldn't get into them. I've never seen a single werewolf movie I liked, to be honest with you.
Wow, the first Underworld was amazing.
Everybody says that. I couldn't get into it. It's like one of those movies that I just kind of like Peter Griffin didn't like The Godfather. I didn't like Underworld.
Rewatch it. It.
I liked Resident Evil.
I don't know which ones of those I saw. I saw a couple of them. They
all blend together.
I don't know. I don't remember. My memory's not as good as it used to be. So, too many chair shots, too many drugs.
As I say, you're off the drugs, aren't you?
Yeah, I've been off for 20 years. Not 20 years. 10, maybe 20. Maybe 20 years. Almost 15, 20 years.
So you don't need to get clean with DDP yoga.
No, but I do it though.
I do it once in a while too. I interviewed DDP. He made a friend in John Hennigan for me, so that was awesome.
What do you mean he made a friend in John Hannigan for you?
My son, who, we were big Lucha Underground fans. And my son knew everything was predetermined, but he hated John Hennigan. He hated the Johnny Mundo character. He would throw garbage at the screen. He hated him so much. And Paige thought that was the funniest thing ever. And Hennigan had just made Boone the Bounty Hunter. So I told Paige to give him my number and I'd promote it for him, which I did. And I think that was 3 or 4 years ago. And I still talk to him maybe once a month, text usually. But he was supposed to come here for SmackDown next month, and we were finally going to meet each other face to face and shake hands, but they canceled it because of this shit. So,
yeah, what are you going to do?
Yeah, stay home, watch TV, sleep.
That's it. Oh, you know what else is great? I haven't seen the second season yet, but Altered Carbon.
I haven't watched that. Is it good?
It's amazing. It is so fucking good.
I'm currently watching The Watchmen show.
Watch Altered Carbon. It's amazing.
I'll watch it tonight.
There's 10 episodes, so you may not watch it all tonight, but I haven't seen the second, and there's a second season that just came out, but it's really cool. I highly recommend it. Anyway, let me run. It's good talking to you, man. I'm glad we finally chatted. Sorry if I blew you off for 5 years or whatever.
You're cool. It was, I won't lie to you, as stupid as it sounds, it was actually an honor to talk to you. I really was a big fan. Thank you, man. It really means a lot. It honestly does. No, you definitely inspired me in many ways there back when I was younger. Good, man. Send me a picture of the jacket. I'd love to see it. Yeah, well, if you ever need a guest to talk about horrible movies, hit me up. I will. All right, man. Thank you so much. Take care, buddy. You too. Bye-bye.